So I've just finished doing this week's podcast episode, and it is currently doing its thing on the laptop with all the edits, etc. that I've been making. But this is video number 2 for today. Not a typical podcast episode. So if you've not been here before, go back an episode. Go and watch episode 29 that I've hopefully put up ahead of this one. If you haven't, welcome. My name's Elly. I am the host or hostess of Curio Yarns podcast. I have got my computer in front of me, which is why you're off to the side now. So this is a bit of a more about me video, really, I suppose. Oh, I have a weird shadow because the light hitting my eyebrow. Anyway, tangents, distractions, magpie, me. This, like I said, isn't a normal episode. This is me coming to you as a human being, wanting to talk to you about my life and my struggles and my reality, really. I'm not just who you see on camera, as no one is. I have had a very, now this is, right, trigger warning is the title of this for a reason, okay? And it is also very swearing friendly, or unfriendly. There's going to be some swears in this, because I don't swear on the podcast, but for this, fuck it, I'm going to swear. I have had a very shitty life. Until the age of 6, I was blissfully happy. Perfect family life. Family home, mother, father, siblings. Great. Then all went to hell, basically. And I then spent the next 10 years desperately wanting to leave. And I did when I was 16. Probably a mistake, definitely a mistake. But at the same time, so not a mistake. I ended up in a very, very difficult situation where I was stuck in a marriage that I didn't want, I didn't ask for, and it was hell. Actual hell. And if you watched the podcast before, you'll know who I'm talking about, but you won't realise. I have got PTSD because of that relationship, but also I have complex PTSD because of my childhood and my relationship with my family. I have a lot of mental health problems. I have a lot of physical health problems. So much so that I cannot hold down a full-time job. I haven't been able to hold down a full-time job for years. My Curio Yarns business is my full-time job, and I work on it every day, 7 days a week. But I do take some time off when my partner isn't working. But even then, it's still ticking away in the background, and I'm doing bits and pieces around our family life. I have a lot I want to say, but I don't know how it's going to, or how you guys are going to react. It's very frightening, because this is either going to help me or harm me. I'm not sure which yet. Okay, so my physical health problems. I have got fibromyalgia, which some of you know, some of you don't know. I haven't really talked about it on this podcast. Hi, Shy. Talking to you at the same time as this. Just distractions, because I have my phone open so it doesn't make any sound. So the message just came up. Sorry, Shy. So I have fibromyalgia, which actually landed me in a wheelchair for a while. I have chronic fatigue syndrome, and I have ME, all of which are very difficult to live with from everyone else's perspective, because it's really invisible unless you know me. I'm very good at hiding it, but sometimes I can't, which is why some weeks I just won't podcast and there'll be no explanation. I will just ghost social media. It's not intentional. I just can't face it. It's too much some weeks. And part of that is because of my physical health, and part of it is because of my mental health. Now, I have massive anxiety. I have massive depression. You know, I get a bit agoraphobic sometimes, and I just don't want to leave the house. I'm not good at travelling at all. So, you know, back in October I went to London. It was the furthest I'd been, other than the year before going to Peterborough, but that was with someone going to a specific destination. I'm not travelling. It's too stressful for me, physically and mentally. There's too much that's happened in my life that will trigger things, and I just can't cope. I have massive panic attacks. I'll have a physical, flare up. My health will just go through the floor. It's just not worth it. I had to quit my job recently. I was working in a local shop, and it was really bad for me physically, and then mentally as well. So much so that I haven't been able to go on that side of the road even, let alone going in there, since I quit. No one knows that I've quit apart from the people that I live with, because it's no one else's business. But it has meant that I have been able to step up a gear on the Curio yarns. So this year going forwards, and for the last few months really, it has been my sole income. And the podcast and Instagram and Facebook and things are the only way that I can let you guys know. And my anxiety makes me really paranoid. Not just with how I look, because I'm always told that I look different, or, I'm too skinny, or all that stuff. I'm too alternative. Why can't I look like Joe Bloggs sort of thing? And I've had this my whole life. And for a couple of years, I converted to being mainstream. It was the worst 2 years of my life. Never again will I be, Miss Topshop or whatever. No, I don't like it. For me, I'm most comfortable being alternative and gothic and black, or, these sort of dirty grey colours and mauves. And this is actually a sort of purpley mauve grey. So I'm just messaging Abby. I need a sip of tea. In one of my favourite mugs. This is my thermos from Rogan Wolf. But okay, so what I'm trying to say, I guess, is I think people assume that because I have a podcast and I have an Etsy shop and I'm, doing this every week, and I've been doing it for years, that I must be really confident and doing well. No, it takes a lot of mental, emotional energy for me to come on camera every week and put myself out here, and I am just hoping that I'm helping some people in the way that it helps me, if that makes any sense. So, you know, when I say in the podcast, you know, please like my videos and subscribe, I'm trying to build up my life again. I had to start from scratch, and that includes friendships, that includes where I lived, everything. So this is my new life as I'm seeing it, and I'm trying to build up a business, and my anxiety prevents me a lot of the time. I try, you know, and with the yarn dyeing of things, I'm so passionate about it. I absolutely love it. But it's not popular yet. And okay, I've only been doing it again, you know, since August. But I'd really appreciate the support. I'm just going to end it there. I hope you guys choose to support me and, you know, buy my products, watch my podcasts, message me, you know, on Instagram, join the Ravelry group, join the knit-alongs I do, because that would be the best way that you guys can show me your support. Thanks.